All right, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting together side by side for financial freedom. Let's go ahead and take another look at XCN ONYXCOIN, because actually XCN is going pretty much against the rest of the market. Where we have most things in red, we are actually seeing that volume that has been traded on XCN over the last 24 hours is up by as high as 670%. I think that's really great, and the price pumping almost 20% in the last 24 hours. So that is great and very encouraging here for XCN, but I think that the best is yet to come. And I personally am looking at higher price targets, which I'll show you pretty much in this video. Just for spoilers, I think I'm looking at initially somewhere right around 7.7 cents, and then of course right around 20 cents is also a price target that I think can be very much easily achievable. Now obviously these price targets, I'm not just pulling them from thin air, but I'm looking at what has happened with charts which look exactly like this one, and because of previous experience and all those charts, I'm actually getting much more confident. So far so good, this whole thing is going according to plan. If you have actually come across one of my XCN videos, what I've been talking about over the last few weeks is that we usually see a rise in terms of the price, a very fast crash, then of course a quick recovery, and the price finds itself hanging there before it goes for another huge breakout. So this is the kind of thing that we're anticipating XCN ONYXCOIN to do in the coming weeks and months. So I'm very much excited about that. But let me actually get into real charts and previous data. Before I do that, I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video by delicately tapping the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. If you're also new to the channel, please subscribe, because I do TA on XCN ONYXCOIN and a number of other different altcoins on a regular basis. Let's just get right into it right there. I've already mentioned the structure, but for reference sake, maybe I can show you a coin like BNB, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, where you see that of course you are rising very much quickly. You've got an initial crash, then somewhat of retracement here, the price accumulates one more time hanging in the middle of nowhere, and then of course it has got a huge breakout that goes out there. Another example that I've also been giving in the last few weeks is a good example of NEO, and you see the same thing right there. You're pushing, right, then a crash, of course you retrace, you hang out right there for some time accumulating, and then of course you push out towards the upside. I think if you look closely, that's also the same thing that we are developing here with XCN ONYXCOIN. You see the same thing, right? You have that rise, of course the crash, then a retracement here. Now we are working with the accumulation. At some point I'm expecting the price to keep pushing towards the upside. So one thing in common with those other things that we have taken a look, we can also take a look at XRP. Now this is a slightly different chart in terms of like it, the height of the accumulation, but you see pretty much the same structure being conserved right there. You've got your rally, a crash right there, you pull up into retracement levels, you come back, accumulate, and then of course you're pushing out one more time. So I'm saying that there is a common price target that you're going to see there, and that is a full scale Fibonacci extension. So if we grab off Fibonacci retracement 2 from the very top of the structure until the bottom right there, you see that most of those charts, maybe I can do that later on, they were going beyond the last Fibonacci retracement level, and that for ONYXCOIN, ladies and gentlemen, is right around 19 cents, 18 cents. We can round it up to something like 20 cents. However, there is a good chance that this price target can actually be exceeded, because again, if you refer to these structures, look, let's just do that from the very top right there until the bottom for XRP. Let's see, you saw that yes, you found a little bit of rejection at the top scale right there, but then again the price moved and even went beyond that. So that's great and very much motivating here, because we want to see ONYXCOIN do something like that. Now we also take a look at the NEO chart, and we've realized that that's also the same pattern that we're seeing. These things you probably won't find them in textbooks and stuff like that, but these are things that we have lived on the chart, and they're pretty much great. Now for NEO, we also saw that it was having a full Fibonacci scale, but it slightly pushed above that, and of course the crash began right there. As you can see, the price pushing way beyond that full scale is not something that is limited. It's something that actually is much more common than anything else. So you see, this is BNB, again same structure, and you see that it exceeded that full scale and even went ever so high. I will definitely be welcoming the same thing here for ONYXCOIN. Prices way beyond something like 20 cents is nigh on utopia for me. But I think that what is happening here immediate short term, just as we've been saying, that look, we are reaccumulating, so we are going to be having volatility in here. As you can see that the push from the support here until the top is like a 6-8% drop. However, a drop from the top until the bottom here is a minus 40%. Then you also see another push that is up 57%, and then you see a drop that is as big as minus 35%. So there is going to be be a washing machine here, and I happen to think that if you're not really patient, you can lose the whole game in this washing machine here. So it's very important to understand that we have got somewhat of a resistance on the top here, and until this level is cleared, this is when I can say finally we are off to the races and we're leaving this whole trading range, getting to our initial price target, the golden ratio 1.618 Fibonacci extension level. That is right around 7.7 cents here for Onyx coin, and we're going to be looking for that 20 cents eventually at the peak of the cycle. I know some people have got way higher price target than I do, but of course, to each their own. You don't really necessarily have to believe what I think. Some people also have got way lower conservative price targets than me. That's still good. I mean, everybody knows exactly when they're going to be exiting the price, but so far so good. This kind of price section here is looking okay. I'm still saying that our range is wide. We can still very much push towards something like 2.7 cents, but still within the range. And you can also see another drop towards the downside as the washing machine continues. But the very much optimistic thing is that what we have seen with structures like these, they just happen to hang themselves mid-air, and then when the breakout eventually happens, this is something that can be very much special. So I haven't given up on that, and the chart is giving me much more courage. If we also want to just take a look at the regular indicators that we usually take a look at, I'm talking about things like the 50-day moving average. That is actually been a signature mark to say that a bull trend has actually begun here for XCN. Take a look at where we are today and compared to where this massive rally that we had towards, actually it was the beginning of the year, it was also being started right around that 50-day moving average, and it actually has been the case time and again for these major rallies that we have seen or witnessed with XCN ONYXCOIN. Again, you're pushing above that 50-day moving average. This actually results in a huge pump of right around 240%. So the big moves have been demarcated by that 50-day moving average, as you can see this moment as well. And the result for this one was a pump of right around 347%. So coming back to where the price is, just as I mentioned a little bit earlier on, is we have that condition in the bag. Then we are also seeing that the structure that is playing out is totally nothing new in the market. We have seen structures like that. So my fingers are definitely crossed here that the whole thing plays out as we want it to do, because that can be so good for us. We also have got other minor indicators like the EMA ribbon for ONYXCOIN here once again on that daily time frame, and as long as we are holding them in the bullish stance, meaning above, we're good. This has also been the case in all the major rallies that we have had here with ONYXCOIN. So I can also go on to talk about the phenomenon that we have seen in the RSI here. The RSI is a very great indicator, but a lot of people happen to misinterpret the data that is right before their eyes. But what you see here is that usually when ONYXCOIN goes for a huge run, it has this double top on the RSI. So it peaks initially, and then it pulls back, then it goes for the second one, and then the second one is when you see massive fireworks by the price just whipping towards the upside. So maybe I can go back in the past, but you know what, I don't want to keep this video very long, so we'll talk about those ones in the next video. But before I go, let me just show you that you can go ahead and claim a Rolex as well as an iPhone 16 Pro Max if you happen to go and register with L-Bank, the exchange. The link is somewhere there in the description. What you just have to do here is be a new user and trade as little as $5, and you have this draw that you can spin multiple times. Actually, if your trading volume increases, and you can do that as well. But this is not really the best offer. I think for me, the best offer is this one, where you can deposit into your futures account and receive up to almost 50% of what you are depositing. By there, as an example, if you happen to deposit, let's say $800 in there, you have got a 350 USDT trading bonus that you can trade and even earn much more from that. So it's a gift that keeps giving, as I always say, and it's looking safe right there. Go ahead and read the rules. The link is also going to be somewhere there in the description, so make use of that. I want to thank you so much for watching the video. If you could, please delicately tap the like button, share the video with your friends and family, and I'll see you on the next one. Take really good care of yourselves. Bye bye.